Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever mouse slipped in a chess game? You meant to move a piece to a certain square, and then for some reason it ended up a few squares short or on the wrong square completely? Well, that happened at the Esports World Cup, and it has cost somebody $20,000. We move straight. Jan-Krzysztof Duda versus Nodirbek Abdusattorov. They met in the final game of Group D. This was the group that had Magnus. Jan-Krzysztof won his game against Fabiano Caruana. Was it against Fabiano Caruana? It was, because Nodirbek played Fabi, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my gosh, I should have had my facts right. Yeah, Nodirbek played Fabi. So Jan-Krzysztof defeated Fabiano Caruana to get to this game, and the winner of these two will make it to the quarterfinals. Let's have a look at this mouse slip. E4, E5, knight F3, knight to C6, and knight to C3. This is known as probably the four knights after knight to F6. And here there's a very simple trap after bishop to C4, and that is the center fork trick with knight takes E4. And you might say, well, this looks stupid because just knight takes E4. But you have this incredible move D5. Except Jan-Krzysztof Duda on move 5, mouse slips D6 and wins the game. And Nodirbek Abdusattorov wins the game. This was their Armageddon game, right? The first two games that their scores ended tied. This was their Armageddon game. Jan-Krzysztof Duda mouse slips. And why do I say $20,000? Because of this. The tournament prize pool. First place gets $250,000, second $190,000. Now, because of his win, Nodirbek Abdusattorov will move into that at least 5th to 8th bracket. But Jan-Krzysztof Duda finishes 9th to 12th and has $65,000. But he could have had he won the game, $85,000 at a minimum. So heartbreaking for Jan-Krzysztof. Let me mute this. And that means Nodirbek Abdusattorov went through. But what happened in the other groups? So this was, of course, Group D. We saw this yesterday. Magnus Carlsen defeated Nodirbek Abdusattorov, and Duda defeated Caruana. And then we saw Nodirbek defeating Caruana in the earlier semi-final that day, before defeating Jan-Krzysztof Duda, which was incredible. So Nodirbek running the gauntlet because he couldn't lose after he got drawn against Magnus, so beats Fabi and beats Duda and progresses with Magnus. What happened in the other groups? Well, they were just as entertaining. If we go all the way back to Group A, we had Jan Nepomniachtchi also doing just like Nodirbek Abdusattorov, running the gauntlet. After losing to Esipenko yesterday, he beats Vladislav Artemiev in the semifinals, and then in the final beats Esipenko in Armageddon by getting a draw. A draw by repetition after some 63 moves. The game wasn't too much really to behold. It was another 4 knights. I don't know why this became popular all of a sudden. That transitioned into some sort of a Spanish line. Esipenko put pressure as best as he could because he had to play for the win. He even uncorked rook takes a6. But we simply had short castles, and Jan was under pressure, but never worse, to a detrimental degree. He manages to hold. Esipenko really did put pressure, but there was nothing here, and Jan threatened the repetition, trying to get the queen straighted, defended his king, and eventually, after finding a nice little tactical sequence to get pieces off the board, managed to infiltrate, get the pieces in, trade, and get here, start hunting the king, still protecting his own king, and there really wasn't much to it. It was just a very clean game from Jan Nepomniachtchi, doing what you need to do when you've got the black pieces in Armageddon. He got it down to bishop versus knight, and this was always going to be a draw with players of this caliber. And we'll just click through the final few moves as a pawn ran away, and eventually the game ended in a draw. We move now to Group B. This was the group with Arjun Eragaisu, who really did shock a lot of people, it seemed, getting through after defeating Nihal Sarin, who was a last chance qualifier, and Maxim Vachier-Lagrave. Nihal Sarin made good on his opportunity. He defeated Anish Giri and MVL, so the third person to win both the semi-final and the final. So absolutely incredible from him. You can see 2-0 over Anish Giri, 1.5 over MVL. No Armageddons needed. It was very simple for Nihal Sarin, and he moves along with Arjun to the quarterfinals. And we round off the day with Group C, where the trend of the day, before we scroll down, was broken. You can see here, Hikaru Nakamura did lose yesterday to Alireza Firouzja. We covered that game. Sorry if this video is a bit late. Varsity's been hectic. He did lose to Alireza Firouzja and would have dropped down to the losers bracket final, and that would have pitted Wei against Yakivor Sandarov. Wei did win straight sets and took Hikaru Nakamura to Armageddon, but Hikaru Nakamura advances, which is absolutely incredible. So we have got the playoffs. Let's just make sure. Yes, so you can see some games have already been played. It is live. You can watch it now. Magnus Carlsen faces Nihal Sarin. Levan Aronian plays Hikaru Nakamura. Nodirbek Abdusattorov plays Alireza Firouzja. And Arjun Eragaisu plays Jan Nepomniachtchi. Of course, the two winners play each other. The two losers play each other. And it's going to be good. You can see, I assume there's a losers bracket of sorts that this is, because you would have a semi-final, but I only see one semi-final game. Winner A, winner B, winner E, winner F, yeah. So this is Group E, and then there would be I assume a losers bracket, semi-final and final, because this is double elimination, double round elimination, all good stuff. But yeah, absolutely incredible if we go back to that. 5 moves. Jan-Krzysztof Duda against Nodirbek Abdusattorov. Duda was doing alright. If we just click here, D6. Unbelievable. D6 instead of D5, because it's the center fork trick. Because if you play D5, I have to go back one. If you play D5, you hit both pieces. You get the piece back that you sacrificed. And this is well-known theory. You can see the eval drops back to -5. But yeah, it was D6, which was devastating for Jan-Krzysztof and costs him, if we look at it again, $20,000 US. This was the Esports World Cup, the final games of the group stage. Well, the quarterfinals are on now. A recap will be about that soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't ask it often. Please do. Cheers.